What's up, you guys? It's Marissa from Push Past Paralysis, back with another video. I know it's been a minute. I've been having nothing but phone issues. I really hope that my phone holds up through this one. The battery's been draining like crazy, but I did not want to wait to make this video because I wanted you to get my immediate first reaction to what I just listened to. It was a Twitter Spaces that my best friend co-hosted earlier this morning. I just listened to it. She was on a show called The Punch Bowl. Shout out. Very good show in the mornings. And this is a topic that you guys are used to me talking about, and I wanted to give this insight and spin on it. Even though it is political, I feel like we have to acknowledge it and touch on it, especially when we have to give kudos to government officials who are willing to talk about it, willing to talk about their personal experiences with it, because it's not talked about enough, or we think that we're the only ones going through it, or going through the pitfalls or the roadblocks or anything to do with disabilities that is hindering our lives. We feel like the forgotten men and women sometimes. And it was just really, really nice to hear Congressman Matt Gaetz talk about his mom, who is disabled, and her experience. I think he said that she's been disabled since he was 3, I believe. I'm going to link the spaces and give you guys a timestamp in the description. Listen, I'm not here to get that political where I tell you who to vote for, which side of the aisle. Take that out of the equation and listen to the substance of the issue. I'm here on my platform to talk about the issues that matter, and disabilities matter to me. Now, one of the things that he talked about, and hit pretty heavily on, was the fraud. And I know that a lot of people don't like to address it, but it is a big deal. Now, I like to think of the government as, I want small government and I want issues that affect all of us. So how can we make disability issues for the average American, right? Well, who's committing the fraud? Is it just people who get temporarily injured and want to milk the system? Sometimes, yes. Is it people who legitimately get it into an accident or injured or something happens, but they don't have the drive or the support or what have you to make a full recovery, so they don't make the recovery that they should make? Maybe. But what about people coming over from the border illegally? I don't mind if you come here legally, but it's the people who are milking the system and committing fraud that is shrinking the government's ability to help the people that need to be helped. Now, when I talk about disability issues, I'm talking about SSDI, I'm talking about SSI, and I'm also talking about programs to help in schools or for job training. I'm not of the mind that people with disabilities should just not have a full life and a good existence. I feel like anybody can, and I know they can, because I had a friend who recently passed away. His name was Josh. He went by Dirty Truth. He was a quadriplegic. He made, and I've talked about him before, he made such an impact on Twitter. I will never call it X. Just go with it. It's Twitter. he made such an impact on people, and advocating for people with disabilities, advocating for the average American. And he was so beloved. He was a quadriplegic living in a nursing home. His entire check went to that nursing home. I believe he didn't even get like $30 to his own name a month. It was sickening what that man had to go through. And he recently passed away. And but he was an example. He could not move his body, but he used Surrey to create memes that made such an impact. And I'm sorry, not memes. He cut news clips, like, of the news, so we didn't have to sit and watch an entire show. We just could watch the issue that we wanted to watch. He cut those clips, and he would have it on, bam. And it gave him a purpose. It brought him joy, and it informed so many of us and helped so many of us learn about issues and what was really going on. Without it cut straight through the BS and just gave us cut and dry what was going on. And I look at people like him who never made excuses, and he definitely got the short end of the stick as far as the government goes. He did not belong in that nursing home. He did not belong in a place that, any place that would take so much of his check. He should have had some sort of assistance living in the home that he owned, making it completely accessible for himself. But it was just, nobody would do it. It was just too much money, and, that is what needs to be addressed. Those types of resources need to be given. Those types of things need to be done. And we have to talk about those issues, because that's employment. Like I was saying, how certain issues are national issues and every average American issues, but also disabled issues. National security, jobs. Do you know how many jobs could be created just helping one disabled American or disabled veteran get in their own home, making it completely accessible, having a live-in nurse or a live-in therapist or a live-in doctor, whatever, to help them. A driver, all of these things. I have so many ideas, and this is something that I'm so passionate about, and I feel like I've gotten even more passionate about it since Josh passed away, because it's not fair that so many people are going through this. And now to see so many of our resources going to other countries, going to people coming here illegally. And I cannot believe I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video, when I said about, our resources, how many other countries are we going to take care of? We need to put America first. We need to put the most vulnerable, forgotten men and women of America first, and their families. How many family members can't afford to take off or not work because they have to take care of their loved one? When you get caretaker benefits for your loved one, you cannot work. So you are solely responsible with a measly check the government gives you, and then you can't move up in a company. You can't do any of that. You become solely responsible, and we need to change some of these laws. And then when you do work, if you're on government assistance and you want to wean your way off, they tap you out at a certain point, and it's less than what you're normally making a month, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. We need to close that gap and make it where, okay, if you're making what the government is giving you, then by all means take it. Take it back, government. And then just give me what I'm making for work. I mean, it's such simple things, and then making things accessible is a whole other issue, because there's not much that I will fault able-bodied people for. But I think disabled people need to be hired to do wheel throughs or walkthroughs of places to making them wheelchair accessible. Because I can go into a public bathroom and it could be small but bigger than the other stalls, and that's considered accessible. And then I can go into another place and it's like a huge wheelchair accessible bathroom. That needs to be the standard, the bigger ones. And I get it, some buildings just don't have the room for that. I get that. They all might not be able to be the same size, but generally much bigger, because I am lucky enough where I have a small, compact, lightweight wheelchair. There's so many people who have humongous wheelchairs that are battery operated, motorized, that can barely fit into the bathroom itself, let alone a stall. I can't fit into most house bathrooms in New York. Some out of state I can, but most in New York, no. Unless it was, especially like when I was growing up, my grandmother helped us make the garage into a room for me, and so that bathroom fit my wheelchair. But these things need to be the standard, universal for everybody, so that it's not signaling out disabled into their own identity politics category, which I hate with a passion. It should be the norm. It should be the standard. I have so many of these ideas, and it's not late, but it's too late for me to have all these ideas. Thank you, Matt Gaetz. Thank you, Punchbowl. Thank you, Savvy. I love you. This was one of the best spaces that I have ever been in, and thank you to the person. I'm drawing a blank of who actually asked the question, because they asked Matt Gaetz this question about disabled Americans, and I'm drawing a complete blank of who it was that asked. If it is somebody that I know, I'm sorry. But like I said, I will link the space and give the timestamp, because it's a long show. I'll give you the timestamp of the segment. Shout out to Matt Gaetz' mother, too, who is disabled. I don't know you, but I'm sure you're amazing. Thank you for raising a son that did what your son just did today, and I really, really want to move to the panhandle of Florida now. So, can we make that happen? Somebody help. Okay, I'm done rambling now. I'm sure that there's a lot more serious, substantive things that I could say about this, but I'm just probably running out of time, because I want to post this on all platforms if I can. But yeah, I highly encourage you, no matter what side of the aisle that you're on, if you are disabled, if you know somebody who's disabled, if you just care about every American having an opportunity to thrive and just live the American dream, which I hope that still exists to some extent, please listen to this space. Please listen to it. And then share it with somebody. It was incredible. So, that's all I have to say about that. Thank you guys for watching. I cannot promise that I will be back soon until I figure out my phone issue. It is doing a little bit better. So hopefully I'll be able to at least make one video a week again. I'll keep you guys posted. Subscribe so that you know when I put out another video. Touch the bell or whatever platform you have for notifications that you're watching this on, so that you know when I put something new out. And I will talk to you guys next time.